Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Boxingvoice.com. All the guys want, I want what Mayweather got. I want what Mayweather got. You done bust your ass like Mayweather. I was trying to fight every fighter. I sacrificed a lot
Productions
to get to where I got to.
What do you bring to the table?
Let's get this on. Let's do it.
Well, it's like this. Wait.
All right, that's it. Hold on. Bernard, everybody calm down.
Man, you know how these bitches is in the sport. Total disrespect. Kid has no class, no style at all. I sacrificed a lot. Boxingvoice.com. To get to where I got to. Boxingvoice.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. I am your host, Nestor Gibbs, joined alongside absolutely no one. I do have to report some sad news. Our very own Michael Gross has been ill and is in the hospital. This is going to be his second night in the hospital. So maybe you see him in the chat as he does have his phone. Send your love and prayers to Mike. He's definitely going through some serious illness, and he could use our support. So if you fuck with Mike, send him that love. Hit him up on social media. Like I said, I'm sure he still has his phone. I spoke to him not too long ago, so he should be good. On a brighter note, we're here to discuss this weekend's action. Unfortunate, it's going to be a bit one-sided as I don't have my counterpart to go, bounce anything off of. So hopefully we get some callers and we can get them in here early, and maybe you guys can be the co-hosts for the day. The number to call in, 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 one time to voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline. Now, we will be discussing Jermall Charlo, who retained his WBC middleweight title, defeating Brandon Adams by unanimous decision. We'll talk junior middleweight contender Erickson Lubin and his return to the ring. Claudio Marrero, the Dominican, getting back in the win column, defeating Eduardo Ramirez in a good back-and-forth fight. Andrade gets the win and calls out Canelo, Triple G, after pretty much an easy win. But, we got a lot of news and notes to talk about. Dominicans looking good. Carlos Adames did his thing versus Patrick Day. Patrick Day still did his thing, to be honest. I like what I saw from Patrick Day. Shout out to Day. Good performance. But let's take it from the top. Once again, you can add Nestor Gibbs on Skype to be part of the conversation. Like I said, we're going to need the streets to partake in this show, or it will be a show that ends early as there's no co-host to debate and bounce things off of. So I will need my callers to be today's co-hosts, and, we just talk about boxing. Maybe I'll give you guys, everybody gets a boomerang today. Maybe I'll go to certain guys twice on topics. So let's take it from the top. We got Jermall Charlo retained the WBC full middleweight title, and I have to say full now since the WBC went ahead and created a franchise champion and named Canelo Alvarez the franchise champion. So he's been elevated, and so has Charlo, who defended that elevated WBC middleweight title against Brandon Adams by unanimous decision. Now, the story of this fight is that Charlo pitched the shutout, but that Adams raised his profile. He took Charlo's shots, and he became a player in this division. I'm sure he's a guy that people are going to want to see him versus others to see how he does and how well they do. He took clean uppercuts, the same uppercuts that hammered Julian Williams. He took these uppercuts and kept coming forward. Jamaal pitched again a shutout. Beautiful fight. stood behind the jab at times, but really was playing the counter-puncher role. That uppercut, left hook was on the money. Straight right hands on the money. He was just doing his thing, really. I know that we expected a knockout, so maybe that left some underwhelmed as we perceived Brandon Adams possibly not to be on this level. Jamal said the same thing, right? He said, contender, I'm going to show you that reality TV and the contender is not this level. And in some ways he did, but in some ways, Brandon had some good success. He found a lot of success with the single left hook, lunging left hook. It continued to land. So definitely a salute to Brandon Adams, who fought a tough fight. And he's just a strong character, man. The size of this dude's biceps, he was just continuously. And you know what? He's got Freddie Roach in there, but I don't know. He was walking in without a jab. He was taking some shots to get in on the inside. He really had no answers for that Charlo offense, to be honest with you. But he showed his mettle. He showed his grit. And I wouldn't mind seeing him again in that division. Versus who? I don't know. But I will pull it up. First, I'll go to TBV's rankings. You can check those out at theboxingvoice.com /rankings. I'll go ahead and screen share these, and let's just see what they got in the rankings for us. Obviously, Demetrius Andrade was in action last night, and Saul Canelo Alvarez has the IBF, Andrade the WBO, and Jamal is now the WBC middleweight champion, and Canelo is the franchise champion in the BC. And just like you can see on our screen share, WBA has Canelo as the super middleweight WBA champion, and they have Rob Brandt as the WBA middleweight champion. Rob Brandt is actually busy with Toyota Corolla, Ryota Marotta out in Japan. He'll be fighting him in a rematch. So that's someone that Brandon or Charlo cannot face. But we have Gennady Golovkin, who's someone Charlo or Brandon won't face, but someone that is a common opponent in a sense. When Brandon Adams was mentioned or rumored to be fighting Gennady Golovkin, we were quite upset. We thought it was a clear mismatch. Will we still think it's a mismatch? Will we still be upset? And will we think that Adams can go the 12-round decision with a Golovkin now after watching him with the younger Charlo? Or is Charlo not on that Golovkin level? But then we have Daniel Jacobs in the number 2 in the WBC. So we'll probably be getting that Daniel Jacobs Jermall Charlo fight pretty soon. Now, I don't know who Kamel Zerameta is. I have no clue. And this is what I'm saying. I don't think he was even in these rankings the other day when me and Mike did a show. And we asked each other, do we see anyone in these rankings that we don't know? This guy I've never heard of. But Derevchenko is right there. What about Brandon Adams, Derevchenko? That's probably a better style for Derevchenko to make him have a little exciting fight. I like Brandon Adams, Jason Quigley. I even like, I know he's not in these BC rankings, or I don't even think I see him in any of these top 10, top 15 rankings, which is kind of sad, right? There's no Gabe Rosado here. How is that possible? I guess, you keep losing, even though you put up a good fight. But damn, is Selecki in these rankings? Anybody see Selecki in these rankings? Selecki just fought for the WBO. Yes, he's number 2 in the WBO. Let's see, number IBF. Is he in the IBF? I don't see him in the IBF. All right, so he was only in the WBO. So that probably tells us why Rosado's not in there. But that's still odd. I don't even know this Carlos Monroe guy. A lot of middleweights out here that I've never even seen before. So a guy like Rosado better try and get some fights. Steve Rose still number 8 after being knocked out in the IBF. But yes, I don't know. Maybe Steve Rose, right? DAZN can do, well, actually that was PBC with Charlo, so I don't know. But maybe, because Steve Rose does work with Lou DiBella. That's Lou DiBella fighter. He's from Canada, but he's a Lou DiBella fighter. Maybe they could bring him back versus Brandon Adams. Even though Brandon Adams not PBC, he's totally contender and banner. But I would just like to see him back. I think that would be a good choice. But on the undercard, before I go there, let's see if we can't mix this up. We're going to do a whole little new thing. We'll go to our mastermind. And listen, not a full call. Give me your thoughts on Jermall Charlo, Supermax in Texas. Talk to me.
I was a little underwhelmed by his performance, especially with Adams being a 154-pounder.
Yeah, but he was a 154-pounder maybe 5 fights ago. Like, every fight he had in Contender was at 160, and that was at least 4.
But even still, he looks really small for the division. I think if he goes back to 54, he'd look a lot better. Not to say he can't compete at 60, but it also looked like Adams was fighting not to be knocked out at the same sense. So, I don't know, man. I was hoping for a little bit more from Charlo. I understand he hurt his hand, but it really wasn't his power hand.
He did suffer a left hand injury, which he said he fought through. He used it, and he also said
he never stopped
really
using it. So, I don't know. I just felt like I was expecting a little bit more from Charlo last night.
When you say a little bit more, you mean the knockout, obviously.
The knockout, or even just to.
Because he did dominate, in my opinion. He pitched the shutout. I don't think I gave Brandon Adams a round. Like, I seen one of the scorecards on television give him a round. I was like, really? What round was that? Maybe I was like doing something.
Yeah, and it seemed like that was more one of those. They say we give you a round just for showing up. One of those type of deals, which I don't do that. I'm not one of those. I don't give you a round for showing up. You got to earn it, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't know. It just seemed a little underwhelming, honestly. I think everybody was really, but I think Charlo also fought to get the, you heard Ronnie Shields tell him, quit trying to get the knockout. Quit. It's like Wilder said, when you force it, it never happens.
Cut it.
All right, well, Supermax, we'll get back to you. Edward and Bama, what was your thoughts on Jermall Charlo, champ, and his performance?
I think for the type of fight he was in, it was excellent. I mean, he didn't put himself in no danger. He dominated the whole fight. People got to realize, man, these type of fights, I mean, I guess for a GGG, they get up for those type of fights, but for a guy like Charlo, man, I think he's ready to challenge himself, and I think that fight was just like, let me get through the paces. This is like an over-glorified sparring match, and Adam showed up, man. He excellent. He fought, had some heart, and some guys just don't want to get knocked out. I mean, so it's not like it was a bad performance. I like Charlo's fight, The jab was on point. Combinations, uppercuts. I mean, somebody else, if he, did that to him, catch him at a certain point in time, he might knock him out. But I just hope he gets a bigger fight, man, because I hate Canelo disappearing. And I don't know if the Andrade fight or anything like that's going to happen. But I'm saying,
hold on. I'm glad you brought that up, man, because I was watching this fight yesterday, and look, I'm going to have to be that guy. I'll be the guy that Charlos hate. I'll be the guy that, the community hates. But let's be real. A performance like that, he shut him out, but, what the fuck was Canelo going to do to Brandon Adams? Let's just be real. Come on. No. Your honest opinion. Even though we seen that, Adams showed a granite chin, how does yesterday's Adam match up with Canelo in your opinion? 10 seconds.
The thing about the funny part about that is I think Canelo might have went for it more just off energy, but I mean he would have fought the same typical fight. He would have counterpunched. The guy would
cut it.
Edward, don't go nowhere, man. We're going to be offering boomerangs today since we ain't got no Mike. Remember, Mike's in the hospital, man. Second night in the hospital, so send your love and prayers to him. You can hit him up on social media. But today, you're going to be Ness's co-host. We're talking Jermall Charlo. We're going to go subject by subject, and we're going to go out to all the callers, man. Fuck it. Whoever's around, we're going to talk to him. We're going to get your thoughts on Charlo. Stick to the topic. And stick to the fight. We're gonna come back to you, so we're gonna give you a taste of what this boomerang life is all about. So if you never had it, if you never got to spend, you about to be a baller tonight. We going out to. Looks like we got. Is this a new caller? Sure looks like it. Let's see what they tell me. Let me see. Yep. All right. So 909-265. Who's this?
It's Jaime.
Who?
Jamie, how you doing?
Hey,
you
Jaime, how you doing? Talk to us.
Good,
Where you
good,
calling
good.
in from?
By LA, an hour away.
All right, L.A.
An hour
Talk
from
to us.
LA. All right, man. I'm gonna be
So
real honest with you,
just
and I
talk
mean,
to
you
me.
know,
Just talk
it
to
was
me about.
mediocre.
Just talk to me about Jermall Charlo. Well, don't worry, we're gonna get back to everybody on the rest of the topics.
Okay, yeah. The Charlo last night was mediocre at best. To be honest with you, everybody expected more. You know what I mean from a guy like, yeah, we seen Adams win the contender, but it was nothing surprising, honestly. And just to let you know, I was more impressed from Boo Boo Andrade's fight. I actually watched it, so it was, you know, the way he's pretty slick in there. So I was impressed with that guy better than Charlo. I mean, you know, he did nothing special, to be honest with you. But you know, I mean, they're up there. They're the best contenders available to fight for Triple G and Canelo.
Totally agree, champ.
You know what I
Let me get to Troy. Troy, what was your thoughts on Jermall Charlo's performance versus Brandon Adams?
It was expected. He was expected to win. He won. But the truth is, him and Andre, is that how you pronounce your brother's name? They need to stop chasing Canelo because Canelo's chasing greatness. They need to fight each other. Neither one of them have any clout to make him change direction. He's chasing greatness. He wants to fight Kovalev and become great. He's not even looking at them. He beat GG and he beat Jacobs. Those are the two names that he needed to beat. Now he's moving on to do other things. They don't. If they had any type of power or clout, they could say, fight me, and he would have to blink. They can't make that man blink. They need to fight each other and keep on doing what they're doing. Oh, Mike, man, just sending out some blessings to him. And hurry and heal up, man, because, you know, Nestor can't handle me by himself. He needs your help. All right?
All right. Well, thanks for calling in, Troy. We're going out to Anthony Edwards. Talk to me, champ.
Yo, what up? Yeah, so I was a little surprised. You know, everybody was riding for Charlo, like, oh, Charlo need that shot. But it kind of looks like his skill set is just not there. You know what I'm saying? He didn't look as sharp. Maybe it was just that night. Yeah, I guess he did say he hurt his hand. But even the first couple rounds, I'm like, I don't know. Where's the Charlo that fought Julian Williams at? Like, you know, so he just looked a little lethargic, I guess. Maybe it was because of the hand. But, I mean, if I'm Canelo and if it was something that you had to do, you better take the getting while the getting is good, because that Charlo can't compete. He can't compete. So, but I don't know.
Well, Ant, man, thanks for calling in. Don't go nowhere. Like I said, we're giving out free boomerangs. We're going topic by topic. Let me get out to Matt. Talk to me, Matt, in Texas. What's your thoughts on Jermall Charlo and that performance?
My thoughts on Jermall Charlo was that he fought as I expected. I knew he was. I honestly thought he was gonna get the stoppage, but he did pitch a shutout. He looked okay, like he was, but to me, he should have done more. And I do believe, because I watched on the back, and I watched Andre's fight first, and I caught the replay of Charlo because I had it recorded. And then I just looked, and I was like, man, he's not really doing nothing, showing nothing. Because today, like yesterday, was their chance to show Canelo, like, hey, I'm the one. But to me, Charlo pitched a shutout, but he didn't really show anything to that he deserves a Canelo fight.
Nah, I hear you, man. I hear you, Matt. Let me see who's on the line. We're going to go out to Boomeranger. H Money, stick to the script, champ. We just talking Charlo. We're going to get back to everybody. We just want to stick to topics as we got no co-host today. Mike's in the hospital, so we're sending him his love, or our love, but we're trying to do things a little different here. Just because, we got nobody to bounce things off of, so we want to keep things fresh. I would go to your intro, but okay, here we are. We're all ready.
Boxingvoice.com.
It's money to shit. Working that wrist. Ballin' like Swiss. Diamonds wet like a fish. Pull up with them sticks. Come fuck with the clique. We fucked on your bitch. She sucking the dick. I'm whipping the work.
Hey, yo, what's going on? It's your boy H Money, Mr. DAZN, the Boxing Voice 2019 Rookie of the Year. And that's Charlo, man, he looked real bad last night. Ness against an Uber driver, against a nobody. He struggled. He couldn't even score a knockdown. Charlo, Ness, I changed his name to Charho. The Charho sister, Bums Only Promotions. These guys can't beat nobody, man. And they staying at the right side. So they don't have to fight no. They don't have to fight no competition. They don't want no smoke. They don't want no Triple G. Definitely don't want Andrade, who looked spectacular last night. You know what I'm saying? But unless Charlo got to step his game up. You know, he beating Austin no clout Trout. Come on, man. His best opponent? No clout? Man, hey, come on, Charlo. Step your fucking game up. Stop fighting Uber drivers. Get a knockdown, man. For real, man. You've been on PBC 10 years and nobody still don't know you. And you clout chasing after Canelo. Keep that same energy with Demetrius Andrade, who pulled up on your ass. Come back to me. Boomerang gang. You heard?
All right, man. Let's see. We got Ohio in the building. Talk to
you know like I know, you should lie low. Killer, I used to get it in Ohio.
What's up, boy, man? Real quick on the Charlo fight, man. He doesn't really have a lot of tools in his tool belt, man. I'm gonna get kind of really detailed on my breakdown with him. The way his feet are so planted into the ground, like the same issues that his brother has with somebody who can jab and move or move with the stick. Man, if Triple G fights him the same way he fought Canelo, just by jabbing, the non-Mexican style Triple G, he'll just jab Charlo's face off because Charlo can't move and punch at the same time. That's his whole issue, man. And then his 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 setup is super predictable. It's just getting to the point, man, like he really hasn't added to his tool belt. We actually seen Canelo add to his tool belt over the years. We really haven't seen Charlo really add that into his repertoire, and it's starting to get to the point when he's stepping up in this competition, he's not really going to be stopping anybody. And to his other caller, he was like, what happened to the one that fought Julian Williams? Well, Julian Williams was a much smaller fighter. They both was at 154, but Julian Williams tried to sit in the pocket with a much bigger fighter. Julian should have, stuck and move a little bit more, and he would have had a better outcome. And if you were actually remember that Julian Williams fight, Julian Williams was kind of touching him a lot until we got clipped with that nice little
cut it,
Jay Will and everyone, don't go anywhere. Today's a free boomerang day, courtesy of Mike. We're gonna hope that your energy, being extra happy that you get to call in multiple times, makes him feel better and gets him well sooner. We're gonna go out to JD on the boomerang status. JD, stick to the script. We're just talking Charlo. We'll bring you right back to talk all the other topics.
JD, motherfucker.
There's a lot of things I like to move, so just try to get on my game. I don't know why they gonna call me for a job. I'm a 54 pounder, but I have a brother that's at 160.
Yo, man, Ace Money just shit it all on my boy Charlo, man. I don't know what that was about. Listen, I'm gonna mix things up a little bit. Adams, right? Brandon Adams. I think he will beat Stevie Rhodes or whoever the fuck that guy was. Triple G just fought. So, the competition that he fought was way better than what Triple G just fought. So, was I satisfied with it? No, I wasn't. But I don't think it deserves people, to be shitting all on Charlo. Like, I don't know what that's about. Dude put on a good show. He engaged. I don't know, man. I don't know what to say about that. I saw domination, but obviously, just talking to a lot of people from last night, and I was in there, he said, H Money just said nobody knows Charlo. Like, dude, that shit was sold out last night. I was in there.
It was 6,500, somewhere around there, and that was a sellout. I'll get the exact number, but
cut it.
JD, you're a boomerang already, so you'll get even more boomerangs. You know, we just ain't got no co-host, so we're doing things different. We're going out to LA. Stand up.
Long Beach in the house. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be piggybacking off what my man in Ohio just said. The Charlos, they got mohawks. They wear fucking diamond choker chains. They play rap music. So we think they like black, slick fighters, when in actuality, who they fight most like? An Eastern European fighter or someone from Crunk Gym. Jamal reminds me of Gennady Golovkin or Vladimir Klitschko, a very basic, predictable attack. And so they're always going to struggle like those guys against a slick black fighter who's able to maneuver well. The Charlos also come from Texas. Like they say, we grew up fighting Mexicans. So their style is bred under that fight style. So don't get them twisted and thinking just get deceived by their look. These guys are just fundamentally based fighters. But that don't mean they could be like Tim Duncan in the NBA. Their fundamentals could be so great that they can overcome any slick dude. That remains to be seen. Come back to me, Ness.
(718) new caller. Who's this?
Yo, what's going on? Oh, shit.
What's good? Who's this?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Who's this? Antonio?
Nah, I know you gotta hate me, Ness.
Antonio.
Yeah, man. What's good, man?
The million-man phone number guy right here. What's up, brother? Talk to us.
Yeah, I gotta do it, man.
Charlo.
Yo,
We giving out free boomerangs.
All right, real quick, though. So, last night showed that Charlo ain't ready for Canelo. You know, I mean, even though I want to see that fight just so Charlo can know that he's not on Canelo's level. And also, Andrade will beat Charlo, but they will both lose to Canelo. That's my call. Canelo is a beast. He's a legend. And Charlo, Andrade, and anyone at 160 is going to find out once they get in the ring with him. It's like Floyd. You don't know shit until you get inside the ring. I'm out.
All right, champ. Antonio, thanks for calling in. Albany, stand up. Donald, Richmond, California, talk to me. Charlo's performance, your thoughts.
It was okay. I expected at least a knockdown or two or a stoppage. I had actually put some money on that Charlo would stop him by 6 rounds. So I was really disappointed that he didn't stop him. You know, I don't know. It's just, gosh, I thought, you know, that's the bigger Charlo. That's the one who got 21 knockouts. You know, I thought that he really could stop this guy. But, you know, he seems to struggle with movers. And in my honest opinion, I don't think that he could beat Demetrius Andrade. I mean, if you look at his performance and Demetrius Andrade's performance, I mean, Demetrius Andrade won every round and got a knockdown, and he just went in there and just exploded.
Cut it.
Going out to Brandon. Talk to me, Cincinnati.
I'm just listening for this topic, Ness. I'll come back in. Everybody's pretty much lamented everything I was going to say, so I'm just listening for this one.
Steve, talk to me. All right. No.
Yeah, hello?
Yes,
Hello?
Steve. Yes, Steve.
Yeah, I want to go the other way with this. I think Charlo deserves, he's the WBC champ now. I think he needs and deserves the elite fight. I'd like to see him with Triple G. We don't know what he can do until we see it. This is all speculation.
So what did you think of his performance last night versus Brandon Adams?
I think Adams is a decent fighter, and I think, he dominated the fight, like you said. He won every damn round.
Sure
he didn't get the knockout, but hey, he dominated him. He beat him.
Steve, thanks for calling in. Don't go away. We're giving out free boomerangs. No way. Talk to me. Charlo performance. Your thoughts.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello, can you hear me?
We do.
Hey, man. Okay, cool. So I don't know how winning every round equals struggling. And Brandon and Adams came in to survive. He wasn't even trying to win the fight. You throw a punch, run, throw a punch, posture run. They're trying to make Canelo be bigger than belts and bigger than wins and losses with franchise things. Man, this boy need to fight people. He's not all of a sudden a legend and he gets to cherry pick his way because he's already a Hall of Famer kind of stuff. Either fight people or get the hell out of the way. But stop trying to denigrate Charlo because your expectations is that he should knock everybody out. And also on that same
Stick around, no way. So pretty much we're all on par with the Charlo. I mean, we're not really all on par. I mean, it seems split. Some people thought it was underwhelming. Some people feel that he dominated, like myself. Junior middleweight contender Erickson Lubin took to the stage, or should I say the squared circle, and made quick work of an overmatched Zakaria Attou, Frenchman. They say this was an eliminator. I don't believe that. And they being Mike, right? I don't think so. There was no mention of an eliminator on the telecast. And in fact, Erickson Lubin mentioned that he wanted, a top 10 middleweight in his next fight. So obviously, if you are tuned in to YouTube while you're here, might as well hit that thumbs up button and then check out the rankings with us. WBO, we have Jaime Munguia is the WBO World Junior Middleweight Champion, in the IBF, Julian Williams. WBC, Tony Harrison, coming off of an injury. And we have WBA, Julian Williams, and the WBA super, or regular, should I say, that one is vacant. So for Erickson Lubin, who looked good last night, looked patient, took his time, and did make short work of his opponent, he mentioned names like Austin Trout, who's ranked 11 in the WBC, and names like Terrell Gausha, who's ranked number 13 in the WBA. I don't see Gausha or Trout in the WBO or the IBF. Now, the IBF has the number 1 and number 2 slots vacant, so maybe someone can jump in there. But who would you guys want to see Erickson Lubin face next? Now, we had his trainer, Kevin Cunningham, on the show. If you haven't heard that interview from our weekly morning show, head on over to iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, wherever you listen to the show, right here on YouTube, and check that out. He mentioned Gausha and Austin Trout, so it seems like something that he and his fighter spoke about, because post-fight, that's exactly the names that Erickson Lubin mentioned. So, Big Supermax.
Every round.
Big Supermax, what did you think of Erickson Lubin?
I thought his performance was expected, and I'm trying to look at the ratings. I guess, Austin Trout, man, I kind of wanted to see Austin Trout get a win back, though, so maybe if they could get maybe like a Jesse Vargas, you know what I mean?
So you think Jesse Vargas is actually campaigning at 54, and it wasn't just for that Humberto Soto fight?
Because that was his second fight at 54, wasn't it?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I believe his last 2 fights have been at 54.
I will double check that, but man, that would be weird.
Yeah, because he fought
Delorme. Big already.
No, he fought Delorme at welterweight. No, you're right. Okay. Man, it's hard to say. Maybe like a Carlos Adames, or maybe if they could dig out, go get a Liam
Adames.
Smith.
Adames is on that wrong side of the street.
Yeah, that's a.
And it's just too big of a fight, right? Like,
yeah.
both of them have lukewarm names, so to speak. But let me get out here. I want to go to some of these other news and notes, and we can just wrap them up together for this Charlo card, right? On the undercard, obviously, we had Erickson Lubin, and we had Claudio Marrero. That was actually a good fight. I don't know who watched Marrero or any of the other undercard fights. So I'll go, and get to everybody and see if they want to talk about Lubin. If not, we'll move on to the next card. Edward, did you catch Lubin, and what do you think of his performance?
It's a nice bounce back fight. I've always liked Lubin. I hated that he took that Charlo fight so early. The thing about it is him fighting the Trout. This is the funny part. Some of these PBC fighters that they keep rewatching are eventually going to be dual victory. And I just see, for some reason, maybe Trout doing his slick veteran thing and messing around beating Lubin. But if they really want to see if Lubin's the goods, if all that stuff, if he's really gotten over it, Trout is just the type of fighter that makes you look bad. So I don't know. But if he watches them, then they're like, whoa, okay, here we go. So, yeah, I really enjoyed the Lubin fight last night. But like I said, it was expected, but Trout, like I said, that's going to be a difficult thing. Maybe like a Sergio Garcia or something like that, maybe.
All right, Edward.
Or one of these Callum.
Thanks for calling in. Troy, thoughts on
Yes,
Lubin?
sir. Same thing, brother. He just did what's expected, but I think it's time for him to step up in competition a little bit. I don't know the rankings that much, as I really don't pay attention as much as I should, but I just think it's time for him to step up and then make his comeback, because I think what happened with him and Charlo the first time is that he was rushed. He was just rushed. He wasn't ready, but I think he could actually beat
it's funny
Charlo.
you brought that up. He mentioned on the telecast post-fight, he mentioned camp. Something happened in the training camp, and maybe they should have just pulled out the fight, but they went ahead with the fight. And I was like, okay, that's some new information right there. H-Money, your thoughts on Erickson Lubin?
I want to see him against my boy, Jaime Munguia. Give him another title shot. You know what I mean? He could come to the zone.
Yeah, well, he
get
said
his
he don't
biggest
want a title
payday.
shot right now. He just said he wants a top 10 like opponent. He said trial or Terrell Gausha. He's not trying to rush again. He made that mistake the first time.
Maybe Trout. I say Trout is a solid opponent for him. A good name on his resume.
All right, H-Money. Brandon, Erickson Lubin, thoughts?
I think he should go in and fight Gausha, man. I thought Gausha beat Trout, so if you're gonna fight one of those two guys, fight the guy who most people think won the fight. So I say Gausha. I was saying that before the Trout fight that I thought him and Gausha would be a good fight. That's who I think he should fight next, Terrell Gausha.
All right. Well, Zakaria Attou was number 14 in the WBC, where Erickson Lubin's already number 4. Now, again, Gausha 13, and Lubin with Trout 11. Patrick Day is 10, and he's a Lou DiBella fighter. That's a fight for, Lubin, but maybe too young, right? You already got Trout. He's more of a name, a little older, been through the well a bit. Jay Will, thoughts on Lubin? Ohio, talk to me. All right, we will come back. And thoughts on Lubin's performance?
I see guys changing trainers a lot, and I'm wondering why in the fuck do people really go to Kevin Cunningham? Like, I don't think he's a good trainer. The Lubin I saw, even in the Charlo fight, like his movement was better. His combinations when he threw him in past fights that I've seen was better. I just think he made a mistake going to Kevin Cunningham. Like Kevin Cunningham is not the guy to fix you. Like, he needs a better trainer. Like, I was never really a Freddie Roach guy, but Freddie Roach got people out here living. So I think before he makes a step up, he made a poor decision in Kevin Cunningham. He needs somebody else because he's turned himself in. Everybody seemed to have a Charlo-like performance this weekend. Like, I don't know. Like, dude just can't seem to. I don't know. I just don't like
Lubin,
the way he looks.
Lubin got the stoppage, man, but I hear you. JP, thoughts on Lubin?
he did what he was supposed to do. Nothing to talk about. You can't really use the performance to measure him to say he's improved or he shook off the ghost from Charlo. That's the question. So we need to see a step up because he got them ghosts in his closet, and we need to know if they still haunt his ass that night. That's the question.
All right, Donald, you already know the question. What's your answer?
I think probably Terrell Goucher because, I know Austin Trout, and I know Trout, he don't duck nobody. He won't take no fight, but I think that Trout needs to get back into the win column. So a Lubin fight right now for him is probably something that he should look at after he gets a win. So I think Goucher, because Goucher feels like he beat Trout, although it was a draw, and Goucher made it clear, like, I'm not rematching Trout because I felt like I won the fight. So I think that I think that if Lubin fight was presented to Goucher, I think Goucher probably would take it. So I can definitely probably see that fight happening. I wouldn't be surprised if that's definitely the next fight.
Well, Donald, thanks for calling in. Don't go nowhere. Free boomerangs today. Southside Deucey, thoughts on Erickson Lubin's fight?
Hey, I didn't catch the fight. I'm just tuning in.
Did you catch the Charlo fight, and what do you think of his performance?
Yeah, I definitely caught the Charlo fight. See, I'm one of the ones who think all of these people got room for improvement. Like, I'm one of the ones who think, let me think. Charlo definitely need to move his feet more, but Andrade looked so sloppy out there to me, it didn't make no damn sense. And Canelo got great upper body movement, but he don't do it on the go. He kind of plant his feet and then move his upper body. So styles make fight, man. I want to see it. I want to see the fight. You know what I mean? Like, I'm one of them type. I see error in everybody. I see improvement that can be made in everybody, but I don't see enough to where a motherfucker can't be like, he can't see him because ain't none of these guys too much better than none of them, bro. They all got flaws. I want to see the fights.
All right, stick around. Free boomerangs. We going out to California. Everybody's motherfucking favorite caller.
Mr. Info Joe.
This portion of the show we call In the Know, presented by my brother.
Info Joe, thoughts on Charlo and Lubin performance, please.
Ohio runs boxing, man. I have to agree with him, man. Shout out to my guy from Watts, Brandon Adams, man. He held his own, but I did expect a whole lot more from Charlo. He did dominate. But I always make a comparison like you did. Like, what would Canelo do to Brandon Adams? What would Triple G do to Brandon Adams? And I looked at Charlo's last fight with Korobov, and it could have been a draw. So I much as I'm a Charlo fan and I want him to see him fight Canelo, I don't know if he's ready yet, man. It left me with that question in my mind. As far as Erickson Lubin, Terrell Goucher. I think that'd be a good fight for him just to build him up a little bit more before he takes on the champ.
All right, Joe, stick around. We're doing boomerangs for everyone. It's funny, man, how the media works. Kevin Cunningham, the trainer of Erickson Lubin, says Austin Trout, Terrell Goucher, Lubin echoes that on national television. Terrell Goucher, Austin Trout. And now the callers are saying that. And it's funny because, I showed you the rankings and how many names are there. How many other people are there? Like Kell Brook, Jared Hurd is there. Like we said, Day just lost. He's there. Jenison Rosario is there. Patrick Teixeira, I can't believe he's campaigning at 54. I know he lost by knockout to Curtis Stevens, who's also campaigning at 54. Mark DeLuca got a win yesterday, but I thought he got the win in the 160-pound division. I could be mistaken, but, they have him ranked here at the WBA at number 9. But Mark DeLuca, the Bazooka, definitely got a win yesterday. So there's other names, but just funny how the media works. So since we're talking that, I'm going to switch your attention to another topic. If you're watching this on YouTube, you will be watching me screen share. We're going straight to ESPN.com, and then we'll go to boxing. I want you to see something very interesting. I mean, I think it's a bit biased, but it just goes to show the negotiation skill of Bob Arum. We're on ESPN.com/boxing, and the first thing you see is Andrade calls out Triple G after an easy win. Now, obviously, Andrade fought on the zone. You know, you see the next thing is Joseph Parker. He even gets a little picture. You know, Joseph Parker stops Alex Leapai, wants heavyweight unified titleist Andy Ruiz Jr. next. Then look at Charlo's coverage on Showtime. No slick headline, no bold text, just a little glove that says Charlo's Adams fight results. So let's click it. It's probably a story. Oh, no. It's a paragraph. Jermall Charlo retained the WBC title, defeating Brandon Adams by unanimous decision Saturday night at the NRG Arena in Houston, Texas. All three judges scored the fight for Charlo, 119-109 and 120-108, twice. Charlo controlled the action throughout against Adams, who was content to survive the 12 rounds. This is from Steve Kim. That's it. One paragraph. Okay. Oh, wow, another PBC card on Showtime that doesn't even get a picture. This one doesn't even get a cool glove emoji. This is just Erickson Lubin's paragraph of his domination of Zakaria Attou. And another paragraph of Claudio Marrero's upset of the undefeated Eduardo Ramirez. Not even an upset gets you a picture. But that in-house stuff, that top rank stuff, as you can see, if you're still following alongside with me on YouTube, you see as we scroll down, we see top rank, Commey stops Beltran. He gets a glove emoji and some black bold text. Wow, even gets a secondary title. Okay. And if I click it, oh, it's not a paragraph. He even gets a highlight video. I won't click that. I don't want them to flag me. They're probably going to flag me anyway for showing you this. You know how ESPN Top Rank does anyway. The Top Rank don't like me talking bad about him. You see what happened the last time. But he gets a whole paragraph, as you can see. You know? Let's continue. Let's see what's happening here. Oh, so more Commey Beltran. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so he gets more than a paragraph, more than an article, and more than just a highlight reel. He gets secondary article from a different author, because this one obviously is by Dan, the man, and then the other one is by Andres Ferrari. All right, he's an ESPN editor. And then we go down, and there's more Commey Beltran undercard results. And obviously, my boy Carlos Adames, Dominican, he gets an article. This is an article. I'm not going to click it because we already been there, done that. You know, and if you continue, even Mikey, who is, working with PBC, but obviously this brings headline. Oh, my God, because I even have this as our fourth topic. Mikey flirting with Top Rank, doing interviews on ESPN, talking about fighting Lomachenko. What is he doing there? Yes, many are going to say, oh, he was just there supporting his stablemate Carlos Adames and, Alex Espino. Few people fought yesterday. But the rumor has it there was obvious conversations between he and Bob. He and Bob. And then you see the more articles here. This is Andy Ruiz and just general Raphael's WBC franchise. Obviously, he's talking about Canelo and, whatever it is that Canelo is now that he's the WBC franchise champ. But I just found that pretty weird. You know what I mean? Like, even on the sidebar, right? Like their top headlines. Let me I just got a screen share again. I'm sorry. Look, their top headlines, none of these are any of the PBC fights. Look, top headlines. The first top headlines is Adamas outpoints Day and dedicates the fight to Big Daddy or what was his name? Poppy Daddy? Fucking David Ortiz from DR, whatever. Canelo loses titles. Now WBC franchise champ, which is very misleading. He doesn't lose a title, but whatever. And Horn, wow, a Horn topic, not even a fight. That's more news. I just don't get it. You know, something is fishy is all I'm saying. That's a bit weird, but whatever. Just doing my due diligence of letting the listeners know what I ran across. But let's get to the Andrade card. Demetrius Andrade on, where is he at? On DAZN, obviously. He had the fight with, I don't even know Selecki's first name, but we're just going to stick to Selecki. A lot easier to say. We're going to call this one another dominant performance. Very controlled pace by Demetrius Andrade. Great ring generalship. Showed power in the beginning. But I think that the story of the night was the commentators desperately wanting and trying to set up the commentary for the knockout that didn't come. And, saying how he needed to impress. I think they made the decision for the listeners that Andrade isn't ready to be in the ring with Canelo. I feel like they put so much pressure on him. But in my opinion, dominant performance. Exciting in the beginning. He came out a little different. But he dominated, man. It's just he's a boxer, bro. And he'd rather not be hit. And let me tell you, he took some chances last night. You know, he took a lot of chances. He dug to the body. He threw that overhand left a lot. You know, he reached a lot. He took some chances. So I didn't mind that performance. We'll talk about some of the undercard fights and then get to the callers on this card. Joseph Parker, damn, bro. I told you guys, obviously Mike was right. On the betting show, Mike said pick Parker by knockout, but I told you he wouldn't do it early. I knew it. You know, Mike was hell-bent on 1 through 3 and 1 through 6, and even the bookies. And, bro, I mean, he didn't even really get a stoppage. Let's be real. He beat up Alex Leapai, who I have a different opinion of now after watching him fight. Dude's pretty big. I mean, he would definitely fuck me up. He's got a very good left-right hand, but he was just outgunned in this fight. Like, you know, Parker is leaner. He's more in shape. He's letting his hands go, whereas Leapai, he's your 1-2 guy. That's all he's got. He's going to lunge in with a big left hook, maybe 1-2 occasionally here. He's going to lean on you. He's a guy that give you rounds. And I honestly, when the fight was announced and we were previewing it and predicting it, I wanted Parker to do better. I was expecting a knockout. And even though he got it, because it was a mercy knockout where the corner, the ref, everyone knew Parker was just beating on this guy. But this guy wouldn't go. So my biggest issue with this fight is like, bro, if you can't get rid of Leapai, how are you going to get rid of the dudes that are punching you back? Because, like, all right, somebody's going to call and say, Ness, some guys just don't get knocked out. Cool. But those guys that don't get knocked out, are they all like Alex Leapai who can't punch back? Because what happens when a guy can't get knocked out and he can punch back? Look, I'm right now watching the Leapai fight again because I always have the fights playing in the studio as I'm doing the show. And, bro, my man's stomach is fucking huge. He's bigger than me. Like, he's bigger than me, champ. His stomach is big as fuck, especially sitting in his stool. And, you know, sometimes he was on some badass shit standing up. Even standing up, it was just hanging out. So, I don't know, man. Like, Parker's kind of been underwhelming to me Not this performance. This was a very good, tight performance, but I think it was as good as it was because the guy ain't on his level. The guy couldn't punch back. I mean, bro, I'm watching Parker highlights right now. He threw like 7 non-punch combinations on Leapai, and all Leapai do is, have his hands up and occasionally throw that one lucky bomb back that doesn't land. I mean, look, he did what he had to do. This was a matchroom gimme. It's a live ball, a T-ball right there, and you're supposed to knock it out the park. He didn't knock it out the park because he didn't knock him out, but he got the TKO. So I'm giving him like a B+, A- performance. It was all right. I mean, it was good technically speaking. From a technical standpoint, he was even hooking off the jab. Like, he looked good, but again, I have to question, did he look as good as he did because it was Alex Leapai? But that's all I'll give you. We'll go out to the callers. I want to find out what you thought of Andre's performance and Joseph Parker's performance. Then we'll go back and review the Commey fight and come back to the callers again. So I actually won't even begin in Boomerang. Some of you guys are beginning like a triple Pete. Super Mex, what you think? Andrade and Joseph Parker, what you think of their performances?
Andrade, I thought it was good, but it was typical Demetrius Andrade. Started off hot, got the knockdown, but just really couldn't close the show, which I was hoping he would have done. Dude, Demetrius Andrade is I don't think he'll ever get the Triple G fight. He's a nightmare for Triple G, an absolute nightmare. I think he's got the best shot of the three to beat Canelo. If I can be completely honest. Um, so yeah, I think he beats Charlo, and to me, it's a toss up between Andrade and Canelo, and that's because I'm a big Canelo fan. Um, as far as the Joseph Parker fight, man, to quote Shannon Briggs a couple years ago, what are you doing, man? You fight nobody. You fighting pies. You know, and Leapai isn't one of those guys who can't get stopped. If I'm not mistaken, Klitschko knocked him out. If I have that right, Parker didn't really impress me. It was kind of a dud. Um,
Wait,
I can
a
see
dud? I mean, he was super active for a heavyweight. Like, he let his hands go. He had speed. He showed accuracy.
that's cool, but it's like you said against. I mean, who are you doing that against? You know what I mean? Like, do that against him. And I mean, I can see him and Andy Ruiz's fight was competitive, but against the Fury, against the Dillian White, against a Wilder, even an AJ, I don't see Joseph Parker hanging in there with those guys, man. So, it just, but and, at the end of the day, styles do make fights, which is why I said his fight with Ruiz, it does make sense when you watch it back and watch how he fights. But you just, mm, I felt like he should have went to the body a lot more, hit that big old bread basket. You know what I mean?
I hear you, man. I think he did go to the body, actually, a lot. But, we're gonna get back out to some callers. I'm gonna do like I don't know. I'm gonna have to put a timer since there's so many, and I want to give everybody that comeback and and then do it one more time because we still got whole nother card too. We still gotta talk about ESPN. So that being said, Troy, thoughts on Andre's performance and Joseph Parker's performance?
Didn't see Andre's performance. Joseph Parker, I think that fight was stopped too soon. Even though the man was kind of sort of fighting back, but I think it was just stopped too soon. And it's not one of those fights where you could actually judge him because obviously he was fighting a man that was put in there to lose. He wasn't fighting a man that was put in there to test him or anything like that. He was fighting a man that was put in there to lose. I would love to see him getting in there with Prozorov. Is that his name? The last brother that White knocked out. Even though I think he's on his last leg, but I think he'll push Parker. I think Parker needs to be pushed, and if he keeps staying where he's safe, he's never gonna be what he could be. Because they always say how slick he is and how he could box, but he's not being pushed. He's not. So that's how I feel about it.
Troy, thank you. And same question.
Yo, I actually agree with Troy for once about something. Like, yeah, Parker supposedly got these skills. I know he do. I seen him in there. Like, we seen box AJ. We seen him avoid getting tore up the whole fight. You know what I'm saying? But man, he needs to really work on losing some weight, and he needs to work on trying to generate some power because it's like the same thing with the Canelo thing. Like, what would Wilder did to this guy? What would Andrew Ruiz have done to this guy? You know what I'm saying? What would the big four? What would they have done? They would have got rid of that dude in 1 or 2 rounds. So to me, it's an embarrassment for Parker. I literally turned on the fight in like round 2 or 3, watched the round and turned it back off. And I'm like, that's some shit I can watch later because it's like, yo, you up here beating the shit out of this dude up against the ropes, throwing 9-punch combinations, and you can't get him out of there yet. Like, too late. And Andre, that's my guy. I love Andre. I agree. He probably got the best shot out of the couple to beat Canelo. But he was a bit sloppy. But then when they said he had something was wrong with his leg or he hurt his leg or something, I'm like, okay, that makes sense because he wasn't flashing that flash shit like we seen him like
Cut it.
Info Joe, same question.
I thought the Andrade, he dominated. He looked at like he had he started off good, man. It was exciting, but I can see how it kind of lulled the crowd. I almost thought I heard somebody booing in the crowd, and that was in his hometown. But I do agree with Anthony that he has the best shot to beat with his style Triple G and Canelo out of anybody. I do agree with that. And Joseph Parker, I thought he fought down to his competition. Samoans is tough, man. There's a lot of slow Samoans in L.A., man. They some hard-headed, tough dudes, man. But for him to hit him with all of those shots, I thought he would have got him out of there. And you do have to make the comparison. What would the other heavyweights do? That's all I got on this.
All right, Joe. Edward in Bama, same question.
I'm just going to go straight to Parker. At this point in time, since he's held the title, we have to just compare him on elite or world level, and he just is not. He beat up a guy that, is a big guy. It's going to be difficult to put out, but I just don't see him beating any of the top 3 at all. So, really, if you think about the top 3 right now, is Wilder. Can't beat him. Tyson Fury can't beat him. And then you take Andy Ruiz, who most might have thought that he beat Parker already. So
well, he does get to spar a lot. Scrap. Hey, think about it. He does get to spar a lot with Tyson. He might have a better shot than we think, just because he sparred with Tyson on multiple camps. Recently. That's true. For the Schwartz fight, they sparred. So it's not like he did it when Tyson was learning and he was like 20-0. No. He's still sparring Tyson Fury, so maybe he knows something, feels something, sees something.
You know Ness as well as anybody. Sparring is a whole nother story from the fight. You know what I mean? Because I've seen you get some work in on Sean Porter.
Yeah, but it could give you confidence, though. It could give you confidence in the real fight, I don't know. I'm not saying he can beat Fury. I'm just saying he might feel something that we don't. But...
Well, it's not to say he's bad. He's just a second. He's just if there's a first tier, he's just kind of in that second tier, which doesn't mean you're terrible. Second tier fighter can be a champion, but it's just I don't see it. And as far as Andrade, it's a typical performance. I hate how people shit on him because he doesn't have power like that. He doesn't concuss people, but he has excellent boxers. If you put Mayweather at the end of his name, we would swear he's the greatest boxer on the planet. There is some sloppiness. I think he gets bored in fights. But I personally don't even really like Andrade, but I can see the skill set is there, and people saying he's not ready. How many fights does a man have to fight? I think he's damn near 30 years old. When the hell is he going to be ready? That's stupid to say that. He's ready now. So let's go ahead and test him. If he's not the goods, he'll lose, and then we can move on.
The story of this weekend, though, is that neither of these guys put up the performance to make Canelo change his plans, right? It's like, if I'm Canelo, Oscar, Chepo, Eddie Reynoso, We're sitting down. We're at the round table. We got Sergio Vargas cigars or however to say. I don't smoke cigars. I'm a fucking raw cone user, right? So, you know, in my story, it would have been a J. You know, we lighting J's. And we talking about our next steps. And they's like, yo, let's take care of this Charlo guy, bro. The streets are talking that you're afraid of this guy, that he's a slick black fighter and you running. You know, Mexicans don't run. He's like, all right. What about this Andre guy? No, that's another one. Another slick black fighter, but he's a southpaw. They're saying you running. Oh, all right. So that was their performances last night? All right. So what else we got on the table? Callum Smith coming off that performance with Endom and George Groves. Oh, okay. And he brings that international vibe, that UK level. Okay. All right. Kovalev. Oh, that's a whole nother division. I'm going to be jumping up 2 divisions. So I'm going to be getting a title at 175 now. They already gave me that WBA regular at 68. So, like, damn, I'm going to make myself the first Mexican. Oh, no. Yep. That's the route. That's the route to go. Like, that's what he's going to do. What's going to make history? The fact that he was the middleweight champion, unified middleweight champion twice? It doesn't matter. You know, the fact that he was welterweight champion, junior middleweight champion, or unified at junior middleweight, unified at middleweight, then moved up to 68 and captured a title, moved up to 75 and captured. That's what's going to make history. But who am I? Antonio, thoughts on Andrade Parker performances?
Well, Andrade looked good. You know, obviously Selecki is not. He's like a come forward fighter, man. So Andrade got better tools than him, so that's what he wanted to fight. But at the same time, man, we got to realize, man, like Andrade's not ready for the elite, man. You know, I hate to say this right now. I really hate to say this right now, and I hope that people realize this. But 154 and 160, they're dying. You know, that's why Canelo is looking at 175 at Kovalev, bro. We're going to be looking at 147, 140, at 135 weight classes coming for, you know, moving forward. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Charlo, Andrade, you know, all these guys at 154 and 160, man, they have to either fight each other, you know, or just like move forward, man, and just realize that they're not at that level. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, Andrade, you know, even though, you know, he looked good last night, we have to realize that he's not going to be at the elite level along with Triple G and Canelo. We have to realize that, man. And I hate to say this, man, but I love all your callers. But some callers, man, they delusional. You know what I'm saying? Thinking about these, you know, Andrade and Charlo, you know, having a chance with Triple G and Canelo. They don't have a chance at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have to realize that. But, hey, at the end of the day, I'm only one caller. I'm only one guy who thinks about this shit. And at the end of the day, man, you know, it's all about boxing. You know what I'm saying? So, Canelo, Triple G are the face of 160. And that's it, man.
Cut it. Brandon, talk to me.
Man, I didn't watch the Parker fight, but I caught Andrade. Andrade looked great in my opinion. He boxed well. He showed great movement. He was making some lucky miss all night. And in my opinion, the reason why people are giving Andrade more credit for his performance than Charlo is because we expect Andrade to box 12-round fights. That's what he's doing. He's a technician. I mean, you talked to Andy. You was talking about how some guys are just anointed and meant for this, and meant for the big stage. I mean, that's Andrade. You talk to any guy from the amateurs, they'll tell you Andrade was the man. Any boxer who's saying the success of Andrade, they're not surprised. From Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, they all talk about how Andrade was shit in the amateurs. So, I mean, his pedigree is really showing as far as his boxing ability. So, like I said, he had a great performance, and I think he will give a guy like GGG, a slow guy, come forward, jabbing guy, some trouble with all that slick movement and defense. I mean, nobody's going to be knocking down the door to fight him because he's so awkward and skilled, kind of like Winky Wright was back in the day. I mean, as far as the excitement of an Andrade fight, it's just going to be like Tyson Fury. The excitement's going to come from depending on who he's facing. He's going to have to face a young hard hitting, come for a guy that'll let his hands go a lot. Because if he's fighting a guy who's not on his level, you're gonna just get a boxing masterpiece, which I'm fine with. So, like I said, maybe they can give Bob Arum that bread, try to poach Rob Brandt from ESPN for a
So
fight.
wait a minute. You liked the performance, but were you impressed by the performance?
Yes, I was. Yes, I was impressed by the performance because I think Selecki is a damn good fighter. I've seen Selecki give Danny Jacobs hell for 12 rounds, and if Danny Jacobs doesn't get that knockdown in that 12th round, that fight could easily be a draw, in my opinion.
Cut it.
I agree. Good call, Brandon. We going out to H Money. Talk to me.
Hey, Ness, I gotta say, Demetrius Andrade put on a spectacular performance last night. This man is undefeated, 6'1", with great skills, Ness. Skills to pay the bills. Can't nobody beat this guy. And he is an American star now. Like Charlo, they said Charlo had a sold-out crowd. So did Demetrius Andrade. He needs his credit. This man, he got the skills, Ness. And then I've been saying he was like Winky Wright. I've been saying he's a future Hall of Famer. So I just want to see who's going to step up to the plate, Ness. Nobody wants to fight him. He is the boogeyman. Earl Spence been ducking him. He called out Earl Spence. What's up, Earl Spence? What's up? Keep that same energy. Mikey Garcia moved up 2 weight classes. Come on, man. Demetrius Andrade is the best. And Ness, Matchroom Boxing got the best fighters, Ness. And Joseph Parker last night, the only man to beat the heavyweight champion of the world, Andy Ruiz. Joseph Parker looked spectacular, and he got him a stoppage. Ness, people question Demetrius Andrade's power, but he got 5 knockdowns in the last 8 months and 1 knockout, 1 stoppage. This man is the truth, and ESPN have put him on the front page. He's a star. Charlo, nowhere to be found. That's what I'm saying. The promotion behind him is not the same. Eddie Hearn, he's doing a great job, Ness. And one more thing about Eddie Hearn, he just signed Juan Francisco Estrada, a Mexican world champion. Pound for pound fighter, a great fighter. So shout outs to Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing. Ness, I'm going to be right here. You just hit me right back when you need me. You heard?
H Money. Know his boxing. Lids low. Give me your thoughts on Charlo's performance, on Lubin's performance, Andre, Joseph Parker. This is your first call. Talk to us.
Let's see. Charlo did okay. He did good. I see that now this is Jamal, have trouble with short guy. So that may be a thing on down the line, depending who that short guy opponent be. I didn't get a chance to catch Lubin. Joseph Parker did some good boxing. And I mean, he don't never not do good boxing. He did some good ass boxing. Who else was the last guy? Andrade, he did good, but to be 100, be honest with you, he ain't finna beat no Canelo, man. I mean, based off that performance, he not finna do that. I expected a little bit more out of Andrade. Maybe if he would have got that first round knockout when he knocked him down twice, maybe that would have said something. But and I ain't saying that. I know. Damn, I forgot his name, but I know he got some game in him. But I don't think Andrade, he ain't gonna be able to fuck with no Canelo, and he might not even be able to fuck with Triple G, depending. But Canelo for sure, I know he ain't. Oh, and by the way, Ness, hey, I see your boy Keith Thurman. Since y'all talking about Winky Wright, I see Keith Thurman hanging with Winky Wright.
Well, it's the same gym, you know. He's always trained with Winky Wright. He used to spar Winky Wright when he was 14.
Oh, dig that. That's what's up, man. But yeah, that's all I got for you, man. I'm sorry, Andrade, but you ain't got nothing ready for Canelo, man.
All right, let's low. Let me go out to live, whatever your Skype name is, a bunch of numbers. What's up? Live. 51B. Yes, talk to us.
Yo, you hear me?
Yes, who's this?
Oh, man. My name is James Tez, man. First time caller, man. How you doing, Ness?
Who?
My name is James Benitez. I'm a first time caller.
What's up, James? Talk to us.
Hey, man. Last night I was at the Charlo fight. And, Adams, he had Charlo pretty much just trying to search for him like different levels and everything like that. Charlo fought a good fight. I don't give a damn what anybody said. Charlo fought a good fight, won every round. Lubin's still the truth in my opinion. I think Lubin need to go after like a Lara, like a Hurd. Just go ahead and knock them guys off. I had to watch the Andrade fight. He's a magician in the ring. I think that they're gonna definitely try to keep him away from Canelo, of course. And Joseph Parker, man, I wasn't impressed off of that, man. That was like a waste of time watching, in my opinion, man. And that's all I got, Ness. Love the show. Keep doing your thing, man.
All right, stick around, brother. We're going to come back to you for the review of ESPN. Matt, talk to me.
Yeah, on Joseph Parker, I did like his performance. I feel like he also should have got the knockout, but I do like the stoppage. Granted, against the opponent, like I said, he should have got the knockout, but he did look good. He was landing good shots. He was landing a lot of combinations, and hell, if anything, they should have stopped the fight earlier because man, my God, he was just taking some fucking damage in that fight. And then Demetrius Andrade, at first I was like, man, as I was watching, I was like, man, this guy needs to get him out of here. He needs to get this guy out of here. But I was seeing he was choosing not to get him out of here. He was, had real good ring generalship, real good power early, and real good skill to show off, And I agree with everybody else, or mostly everybody else, that he does have a good shot to beat Canelo if he keeps on this route. To me, he should go after Charlo. Go get you the other belt. That way you have more leverage to get a Canelo fight in the first place.
That's what I like. I would like to see the both of them go at each other. But Matt, thanks for calling in. Don't go nowhere. Steve, talk to me.
Yeah, I thought Selecki was going to give Demetrius a little more trouble than he did. So to me, at 160, I think he is the best matchup for Canelo. But in saying that, I don't want to see that next. I want to see Canelo and Callum Smith. And for Andrade, I'd actually like to see Billy Joe come down and let's see the fight we never saw.
That was a fight I wanted. And it was a tough fight for Andrade. It was one that was going to prove something. We're going out to Ringer. But today, Dominic, you're going to be like a Michael Jordan three-peat. But give us your thoughts on Charlo, Lubin, Andrade, Parker performances.
Yeah, I think that Charlo's performance was good. I like that he's dusting himself off from his brother's situation and the fucking WBC situation. Everybody in his state is starting to show love too. But Demetrius Andrade, I still don't have respect for him as in like seeing him fight the best of the best. I would like to see him maybe fight Charlo or, somebody like Billy Joe Sanders, but not Canelo. I don't think he can be Canelo. Just like how Mikey's saying, he doesn't think Terrence Crawford can be Canelo. I really don't think Demetrius Andrade can be Canelo. Charlo, and when it comes to Joseph Parker, I really kind of lost faith in him. He's such a soft guy. I don't think he can fight with the big dogs. He can never really take it there. You know what I mean? But I would really like to see Charlo versus Demetrius Andrade. But when it comes to Demetrius Andrade, he hasn't been selling himself like the Charlo brothers have. Like PBC, they make sure the fighters sell themselves. Not Eddie Hearn talks for everybody. And that's my call.
All right, well, stick around, brother. We about to go ahead and review this Richard Commey card where he took on Beltran. And he got the stoppage. I believe it was the 8th round stoppage, if I remember correctly. And, listen, Commey looked good. Commey looked good. I don't know how much we can take from Beltran, though, right? What's up with... I'll leave that to you guys. Do you think Beltran lost the step, or was this just a good Richard Commey? And I'll ask you guys, how do you feel about ESPN using Commey to sell Teofimo, right? It seems like the route they're going is Teofimo versus Commey, then Teofimo Lomachenko. Seems like Lomachenko won't take Teofimo seriously without a title, and Teofimo and his father seem to think they're title ready. So I'm going to ask you guys your performance on, obviously, Richard Commey versus Beltran, and how you feel Commey would fare up against Teofimo, and obviously all of the propaganda that ESPN was pushing yesterday for Teofimo. If you felt that, or was that just me? And then give me your thoughts on Adames and Patrick Day. That was a very good performance by both men. Just what I thought from Adames. Slow start, conservative with the punches, you know. And same thing I said even on the betting show, I believe, with Day, man. He would be active, but it was a matter of when Adames got that engine going, Day not being able to keep Adames off of him. But I think Day did a great job boxing. I love how he would double up the jab sometimes and then dig to the body, sometimes with the right, sometimes right and left. I mean, he boxed well, man. I want to see him return. He's an interesting player at 54. Adames is just a big puncher, you know. But Mike was wrong on this one. Mike thought this fight would end in stoppage. And, you know, for a quick second, I didn't argue with him. He does such a good job of convincing you. But I thought the Day would be able to last. And I believe Day did last. Let me just double check, right? Let me see here. Yeah, he outpointed him. So, you know, he lasted. He lasted. Now, we've seen Carlos Adames. This is his biggest name so far, right? It's a toss-up between Patrick Day and Frank Galarza in terms of biggest name on the resume. But give me your thoughts on the Commey performance and your thoughts on Commey, Teofimo and the whole ESPN Teofimo push off the backbone of Commey, and your Carlos Adames versus Patrick Day performance. We're going out to Steve. Talk to me.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's up?
Yeah, I wanted to say earlier, I didn't say about the Parker. To me, if Ruiz and Parker rematch, Ruiz puts Parker to sleep. It's game over.
All right, Steve, but what about the Commey performance and the Adames performance?
Adames is good, looking real good. I like that fight. I'm like you, I like that fight a lot. As far as Commey, I was a little let down with Beltran not making weight. Yeah, and I thought like you know, they kind of ESPN kind of put Teofimo, kind of gave him more props than Commey. So we'll see what happens.
All right, Steve, man, check that connection for when we get back to you. But thanks for calling in. Matt, talk to me. Same question.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, with the Richard Commey, him and Teofimo, to me, that is a really great fight. But and then, because Top Rank is really pushing Teofimo more and more to that Lomachenko fight, even though Lomachenko doesn't see Teofimo as a real threat. But him and Richard Commey would be like a really great fight to make for Top Rank. Commey's performance, I was disappointed with Beltran also, but no, not really nothing for it. It was just another step on the way to making the big fight with Loma. I didn't catch the rest of the ESPN card. I kind of just watched the main one. But yeah, the Teofimo, Commey, that'll be a good fight. And then I guarantee you, no, I can't really guarantee you because now especially with the conversation coming back up with Mikey Garcia, Loma Mikey might just be a whole big thing that it'll get put up front and center. Then the winner of Commey Teofimo might still be waiting anyway.
For sure. Matt, thanks for calling in. We're going out to, man, don't remember your name, champ, but you just said you were a new caller. Talk to me.
Yo, yeah. My name is James, man.
James, what's
the
up?
The Commey performance is good. You know, Beltran did look like he lost his step. Good push. It's catching me by surprise, you know, that they're trying to do it. They really trying to build up this Lomachenko future. But to be honest with you, I can't think of the guy's name that Lomachenko.
We're going to have to go to someone else, James. You got a bad call because you're driving and Skyping, you know. But next time. Lids Low, talk to us.
Y'all go ahead, man. I'm just listening. I'm at work.
All right. Dominic, talk to me. Your thoughts on Commey
Okay, yeah. Yeah,
and Carlos
this is a
Adames.
trash topic, but oh, I'm talking on the phone. Yeah, this is a trash topic, but Commey and Teofimo will be a good fight, knowing that Commey has been calling out. I mean, Teofimo has been calling out a lot of people, but that's about it for me. I don't really pay attention to these type of levels.
All right, Dominic.
Hey,
Info Joe, your thoughts. Commey.
Commey and Beltran, it was a pretty good fight, pretty good scrap, man. Commey is a good fighter. I thought he got sloppy a little bit at times when he was trying to go for the kill. He would get caught with a check left hook by Beltran. That he would have to watch out with Teofimo Lopez, swinging so hard where he's getting off balance. I think him and Teofimo Lopez is a 50-50 fight, man. I don't like Teofimo Lopez more concentrated on Loma than Commey right now. It seems like he's looking past him, and I hope he don't underestimate Commey. Also, Patrick Day, hey, man, and Adames, that was probably one of the best fights this weekend. One of the best fights this weekend. Patrick Day, man, is a good fighter. I seen he had that coach from the that Netflix. His trainer was training guys in the amateurs in New York in the Bronx, right?
You saying Patrick Day's trainer?
What was that? Yeah.
The guy they showed on the screen, on the television?
Yeah, he trains amateurs in New York. He as far as the
Maybe
New
Long
York
Island.
Golden Gloves.
Maybe Long Island.
What's that guy that fought Colbert?
Chris
he signed
Colbert?
to Mayweather. He used to train here.
Oh,
no,
Richardson
Chris
Hitchens?
Colbert, the guy that he used to train Richardson Hitchens, man, in that documentary on Netflix. He's a good trainer, man. Damas is pretty good. He got pretty good power. Shout out to both of them fighters. I was entertained, man. That's all I got.
All right, Joe. And your thoughts?
I didn't really catch the ESPN card, but if Teofimo is really serious about Commey, really serious about his title shot, I don't know, man. I think he needs to step up before, you know what I'm saying? Because the guys he's been fighting ain't really like title contenders. So he might mess around, step up to Commey and get knocked out. You know, you've seen he struggled a little bit in his last fight, so I don't know. We'll see. But I'm about to try to turn them on and catch them up right now, then.
All right, and let me go to Brandon. What's your thoughts?
Patrick Dan, Carlos Adames, I agree with Info Joe. That was probably the best fight of the weekend. Patrick, it went how I kind of thought it was gonna go. I had it even after the first 6 and thought Carlos Adames won the last 4 rounds. I just think that pressure, that mental pressure of stalking him all through the ring, just finally took its toll on Patrick Day on that, you know, at the end of the fight. And as far as Adames, I mean, he has to develop a jab. Just trying to walk guys down, throw 1 or 2 punches at a time. Once he goes up against a world-class fighter who's going to be able to withstand that pressure and move for 12 rounds and outbox him for 12 rounds without getting tired, he's fooled. I think if Bud Crawford was to move up to 154, Bud Crawford would beat him because Bud Crawford can't box for 12 rounds and dance around the ring. We've seen him do it. But as far as what was the Commey and Beltran, I don't think anything was wrong with Commey. I think Commey fought a good fight. He had some spots in that fight where he hurt Commey back. I just think it was an old, gritty, tough fighter going up against a young, gritty, tough fighter. And the young, gritty, tough fighter just can crack and outpunch the old guy. I mean, the Commey and Lopez fight is going to be interesting. I think, you know, Lopez might edge it, but I want to see how he reacts to getting cracked by Commey and getting clipped by Commey, because Commey can really crack. And we've yet to really see Lopez get hit clean. So I want to see how he reacts to a Commey punch. This dude Commey can punch. He dropped Easter in their fight. There's only 2 losses, a split decision losses against Eastern. I've got the other Russian guy's name who was also world class, so that'll be a good fight.
Dennis Shafikov.
Shafikov, yeah, the guy that beat he beat Jemelle. What's the guy we just had on the show? He beat Jemelle Herring, didn't he? Shafikov.
Yep.
So he's a good fighter. So Richard Commey's been battle tested, man. He's been in there tough. And that'll be a good fight for Teofimo. I want to see how he takes that power from Commey, because Commey has the speed and the power. He's gonna crack him a couple times. So that's my comment.
All right, Brandon. Let me go out to K in Little Rock. K, man, give me your thoughts on Jermall Charlo, his performance, and Erickson Lubin, Demetrius Andrade, Joseph Parker, Richard Commey, Carlos Adames.
I think Jamal looked like pretty much what everybody's starting to figure out how the Charlo twins fight. You know, that they do plant their feet so that you can move to the side around them and, you know, for the most part, avoid the power shots. That's pretty much what Adams did. And also Adams, I think he learned from his loss to John Thompson when he got knocked out not to load up. So that's why he was, fighting a smarter fight. But Andrade, I like the way Andrade looked in spots. But I think, he's a little more sloppy than, Billy Joe Saunders. So, I don't know. He might need to tighten some things up, but he's definitely the most athletic and, probably one of the best reflex guys at 160. I thought Erickson Lubin, he looked good. He was teeing off on that guy. You can't stand in front of Erickson Lubin because he will tee off on you, and he'll put those power punches together. Joseph Parker, he can box. He's a really good boxer, and he showed that against Andy Ruiz. But the only thing about him is he's not. He's got knockouts on his resume, but I don't know. I guess Leapai is a tough guy. That's why. That's pretty much it.
All right, Kay, man. Thanks for calling in. Great call. Great insight. I guess the last topic that we need to touch on is the talk of Mikey Garcia. Obviously, Robert Garcia was on hand last night. He got to speaking with Dan Rayfield, and Rayfield asked him about the Danny Garcia that was rumored to be put on with versus Danny later down the year. And Robert told him that there's nothing but rumors, man, that isn't true, that there's been no talks of that fight. And as of now, there's nothing, nobody has even brought that fight up to Mikey. So Mikey also did an interview with ESPN, and he said he's still not sure whether it's 147 or it's 140. And, he's still weighing out his options. But he was on hand last night, and he did have a conversation with Bob, and Lomachenko talked about it. So I'm going to go to everybody again and just get your thoughts on Mikey being in attendance. What do you think it means? Do you think we get this Lomachenko fight? Does Mikey see, the Richard Comeys, the Teofimo Lopez's, and the Lomachenkos as a better option at this second half of his career now after losing to Earl? What do you think this was? Or was he just simply watching some fights, and because he's a star, people put cameras in his face, and it isn't what the rumors are indicating? That being said, Ant, thoughts?
Truthfully, like it's kind of one of those things. I don't think there's no merit to it. I mean, it's tough to sometimes believe what Bob's even saying, you know. So I don't believe that's gonna happen. But I mean, it could be a shocker. It could be something. But what weight would it be? Mikey didn't seem like he's too excited to go back down to 135. I'm sure he could if he, you know, shaved off the little muffin top. You don't seem to like doing body work.
Well, he was specific in the ESPN interview. He said there's no way he's getting back to 135 on his first fight. But at least he said that. So maybe with one or two fights he could get down.
Oh, that is, yeah. That one thing that's a little bug in the ear. Okay, well, you know, maybe we got a little something. Maybe. Let's see. Him and Loma, I would like to see it. You know what I'm saying? That would be a good fight. And they've been talking about it for forever and a day. So, yeah, that would be nice to see. But I don't see it happening for real. You know, I think the better money is going to be with PBC for him anyway. And I think Bob knows that. And I know Bob's going to try to, if he really was serious about it, I know Bob's going to try A-side shit where he want to lowball Mikey. And I just don't think it's going to happen. You know?
All right, Info Joe.
Yo, you hear me? Am I clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Your thoughts? Oh, damn, Joe, you done dropped off. Big Supermax.
Yeah, I thought that was real interesting to see Mikey there. I'd love to see him get in there with Loma just for personal reasons, to watch him beat Lomachenko's ass and win some money off my brother Matt, because weight classes matter. And, you know, if they do set that up, you could also set up for a possible future Terrence Crawford fight down the line. But when I really sit back and think about it, I think that could be just a negotiation tactic. They're saying they haven't heard anything about the Danny fight. You know, at first we heard it was a pay-per-view and the Porter Spence fight wasn't. So for me, I think it could be something to try to gain some leverage to say, hey, make this Danny fight worth my offer because I got options over here at ESPN. But I'd love to see, like I said, I'd love to see him get in there and whoop Lomachenko's ass and take some money from my brother.
Supermax, thanks for calling in. Brandon, your thoughts?
As far as Mikey, he's on a fight by fight basis, right? He's not signed anybody, so he's pretty much doing what we gave him credit for as being a smart businessman. He can bounce and go where the fuck he wants to go. I don't know why guys think, since you worked with Al Heyman a couple times, you stuck for life, or you just don't want to do nothing else. At this point, in my opinion, Lomachenko is a bigger fight for him than Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia's numbers have been trash like the last 3 or 4 fights. His attendance has been trash. I think we put a little too much juice on how big of a star Danny is at this point in his career. We're thinking of times past with Danny. He hasn't been drawing the numbers and the attendance numbers and the viewership like he used to. He's not really the name that Loma is. Loma has that fan base and that hype around him to where, that fight, in my opinion, is bigger. So I like what he was saying. I agree. Don't try to go back down to 135. If Loma is willing to go up to 140, that is a bigger fight. So that's my call, man.
H, talk to me.
Ness, I would like to say, I would like to see Mikey Garcia versus Danny Garcia. Mexico versus Puerto Rico. Ness, you know about this. This is a huge fight. All the fans going to show up from Mexico and Puerto Rico. Is just like Oscar De La Hoya versus Felix Trinidad. Hector Camacho versus Julio Cesar Chavez. History. I'm talking about Canelo versus Miguel Cotto. And Mikey Garcia, he's a Mexican. He never ducks anybody. He moved up 2 weight classes and fought the biggest and baddest man on the planet. Earl Spence, the boogeyman. He didn't duck. So I appreciate Mikey Garcia, and he started off with Top Rank and ESPN with Bob Arum. So I mean, there's always been a link between him and Lomachenko, and that's a more of a fighter in his weight class. But he wants to make the bigger fights. He wants the big paydays. He wants to be a legend, and this is how you do it. Mexico versus Puerto Rico. Great show, Ness. TBV for life. Shout outs to Mike. I hope you get better, brother. It's H Money, the Rookie of the Year. Shout outs to Money Mike. TMG, you heard?
K and Little Rock, your thoughts on Mikey?
At that weight, he's got a lot of power at 135. He's got some good knockouts at that weight. Lomachenko, he's got all the skills, so it's going to be a competitive fight. Mikey versus Danny, that would be good. If Mikey feels like he's acclimated to 147, that would be a good and interesting fight because Mikey's got great skills still. So, and don't they have, I'm not sure, but I think they have fought in the amateurs, haven't they?
You said what? Don't they have what?
Did they ever fight in the amateurs?
Who?
Mikey and Danny?
No.
Mikey versus Danny?
I don't think Mikey versus Danny.
Okay, he only
I
fought,
think Crawford.
Crawford. Yeah, so, yeah, it'll be a good fight, though.
Well, all right, Kay, thanks for calling in. We're going to go out to Lids Low. Your thoughts on Mikey being in the building yesterday?
I like it. I believe him and Robert when they say there probably ain't no negotiation or nothing. They ain't been sitting nothing because they not known to lie. You know what I mean? I see them as very honest guys in the sport, and I'm pretty sure if it was something there, you know what I'm saying, goddamn Mikey will take this shit. But I want to see that fight. Garcia versus Garcia, that's some nice stuff right there, man. So I'm down for the fight. Sign me up.
All right, Matt, talk to me.
Yo, first off, my brother ain't gonna take no money from me because that's the same man that picked Martinez over Cotto with a knee injury and Berto over Porter, so he can stop with that. And if weight classes matter, you would have told Mikey to stay away from 147. Back to this though, Mikey. This is good. Like I said earlier, we were talking Teofimo Loma, Commey. Mikey Loma is the fight to be made, but I don't see it being made outside of 135. You maybe could get Loma on some money to go to 140, maybe, but he says he's uncomfortable at 135. Another fight that I could see happening out of all this talk and all this with Bob is Mikey and Bud. Mikey and Bud could be a fight to be made because he's gonna piggyback off of look what he did with Earl. Granted, it was in Dallas, but there was a lot of Mexicans in there. You can fill up the stadium, and then that's when people can be like, oh well, now Bud's putting up numbers. But and then also Mikey Garcia looks like he wants a belt at 147, and Bud Crawford would be an easier fight other than going on and trying to fight Earl or trying to fight Thurman or trying to fight Danny. I know Danny don't got no belt, but still, he looks like he wants a belt at 147, so I could see a fight with him and Bud Crawford.
All right. I don't know if he'll go right into that Bud fight though, man. I think he'll that could be career ending if you get another loss like that, depending on how that loss looks. Steve, your thoughts on Mikey?
Yeah, Mike, I think he is putting his feelers out there. I think he wants to make some money. And ESPN, if they got Mikey on a fight, that would drive their ratings up. And I think that's where he's going with that. He might not get along with Bob, but I think he was there just so ESPN could take a look at him. And they probably would love to have him fight on their network. And him being an independent, I think it's all good.
All right, Steve. Well, thanks for calling in. Let's see. What do we got? Secondary news. Ryan Walsh retained his British featherweight title with a split decision over Lewis Paulin. I only bring this up because we kind of were nervous about putting him in parlays on our betting show. I actually stood away from Ryan Walsh, but he got the win. He got a split decision, though, so I don't know, man. I feel almost justified. And junior welterweight O'Hara Davis scored a points decision victory over Miguel Vasquez in London. I hear the fight was very boring, though. That's what the world is saying. So at least O'Hara Davis got the win. I didn't think he would get it. You know, I did question what version of Miguel Vasquez this is. He's been here for a while, but shout out to, I guess, O'Hara Davis. Listen, that is it, ladies and gents. We got to everybody, and everybody got to talk about all the topics, so we're going to go ahead and cut out. Catch me on the morning show. Send your love to Mike via his social media, Gross1911. Don't forget you can hit the thumbs up button, future, present, past. Hitting the thumbs up right now, later, it doesn't matter. Tomorrow helps with the visibility of the show, lets other callers find this show, and brings us great new characters for the show. So catch me tomorrow, Monday morning at 9 a.m. Peace.